It's 2025, and somebody on YouTube is opening up Streets of New Capenna. Not even like a collector box of Streets of New Capenna, a set booster box. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG, and you did hear correct. Today we are going to open up a set booster box of Streets of New Capenna. So what gives? Many of you recall that Wizards used to have this thing called the list, where on set booster boxes, I think one in every approximately 4 packs would have a card from this thing called the list, where it was a bunch of commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics. And the list for most iterations of sets would be hundreds of cards deep, except for in Streets of New Capenna. For Streets of New Capenna, they wanted to reprint the Stranger Things Secret Lair as in-universe version, so it gave them a reason to do that. But additionally, instead of having the list be hundreds of cards for this set, they knocked it down to 68 cards. 9 of those are the Stranger Things in-universe reprints, and the other 58 cards, or 57 or whatever it is, are all rares and mythics. So there's no commons or uncommons, right? So if you get roughly 7 to 8 list hits per box, about half of those are going to be Stranger Things, and then the other 4 to 5 are going to be shots, and there are some good stuff on the list. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and dive on in, and let's crack some packs. That's what this is all about today, is seeing if we can pull some spice off of the list for this set. So out of the filming of this video, these boxes are about $130. That's a lot. Now, not what I paid for Streets of New Capenna. I bought these when they were like 80 bucks. I have a bunch sitting in my closet. And there's our box topper, which is Gala Greeters. It is all the same. It is Gala Greeters all the way around. As for the actual set itself, Streets of New Capenna, not a ton of stuff in here. Really good land cycle, a couple of good mythics, but that's the majority of it. So, like, why am I so keen on opening cards from the list for this set? They reprinted Anointed Procession, Vampiric Tutor, Exquisite Blood, Sakashima Studios, Sensei's Divining Top, and a couple others on here. So for cards that have, there are some $30, $40, $50 cards. I think a Procession right now is like $75. And I was like, you know what? Potentially worth it. Potentially worth it. That's why we are list hunting in this video. Okay. All right. Beyond that, Jaxus. Jaxus is an okay rare. I will put it up top. There's, again, not a ton of spice in this set outside of the land cycle. So I might just throw some stuff up on top that I really like. But as I was kind of going through, I think I counted 7 or 8 cards on the list from this set that are above $10. And as I mentioned, several that are like $20, $30 cards. So I figured for a, 4 or 5 shots in a box, right? 4 or 5 of the non-Stranger Things in-universe cards. Slip out the back's actually pretty good uncommon. Shot at some good spice, then, you know what? Worth. Otherwise, this box is going to be an absolute pummeling. Toulouse, Clever Conductor. Public Enemy as a foil uncommon. Yeah, you know what? If you're going to give me 7 or 8 shots, what is it? So, like, roughly, if there's 7 or 8 of the, what did I say, 57 or 58 cards on the list that are non-Stranger Things cards that are above $10, that's actually, what, like a 12, 13% hit rate? Not terrible. I've seen worse odds. Hey, an offer you can't refuse. Actually, a solid uncommon as well. Like $2 or $3 as an uncommon. All right. Beyond that, give me as many of the tri-lands as I can. Broker's Ascendancy is actually a fairly good rare. It didn't quite take off the way I thought it would. I mean, at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. Card doesn't see enough love. All right, Mr. Oreo. Oh, there's our first list hit of the box. It is Croesus the Purger. Not one of the value targets. Not one of the value targets. But again, all rares and all rares are mythics. So no commons or uncommons to mess with. And there are boxes that I have seen that have spit out both an Anointed Procession and a Vampiric Tutor in the same box. And that would be swell. Okay. All right, Corpse Appraiser, Rogues Gallery. Love this art. Just a nice homage to the usual suspects. Cormella, Rakish Revelers. Rare is Evolving Door. Sure, why not? I don't recall if there are commander cards in the set booster boxes. It's been so long since I've opened up any new Capenna. Someone who plays a lot of limited, it was an okay limited environment. It really wasn't all that diverse. It kind of boiled down to like just a couple of color combinations that you were building around. Sleep with the Fishes, Cement Shoes, Courier's Briefcase, Ballroom Brawlers. Come on, come on. Errant Street Artist, Dapper Shieldmate, and our next list hit in this particular box is Hargill Kindly Rune Chanter, which is one of the Stranger Things in-universe cards. You can tell because it says Friends Forever on there, and that was kind of the theme of those particular cards, the Stranger Things. They all had Friends Forever, so you could partner two of them together. Again, so you're probably in a one set box. A list hit roughly 1 out of every 4 packs, so you're going to get 7 to 8 shots at it on average. But again, about half of those are going to be Stranger Things, which means you're going to get between 3 and 4 shots at the money targets. I probably should mention that none of the Stranger Things in-universe cards are particularly valuable. So anything you pull there is kind of a... I mean, if you don't have any and you want to put them in a commander deck, like, of course, by all means, go nuts. Just from a pure financial perspective, not hits, though. This, however, was Spara's Headquarters, one of the Tri-Lands. There's the Bant Tri-Land. And those are what we are essentially chasing in this box outside of the list hits. All the Tri-Lands are between like $8 to $14 for the non-foil or non-borderless or non-showcase versions. So they each have a showcase version and a borderless version as well. Borderless versions have a nice little multiplier on them. Showcase is like a couple bucks extra, nothing crazy. Okay. Shattered Seraph. Tivit. Hey, Tivit. So we have a mythic off of... that is a commander. So that's actually not bad. Tivit as a commander pull is actually not a bad place to be at all. We like that quite a bit. What am I new? There we go. Put those over there. That's fine. Sweet. That's actually not a bad mythic. Reservoir Kraken as the rare in the pack. And then, oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. These raised foils. This is a raised foil common. You can actually pretty much see the raised foil there. Those were kind of like the chase treatment in this set. Raised foil. Some of the guild leaders or whatever, Falco or Jetme or whatever, their raised foil treatments they do have a nice premium on them, but outside of that, not so much as far as like any of the other raised foil cards. Okay, here. Hey, Mythic. Nice. That is a showcase Rafine Scheming Seer. Rafine is a pretty mean card. Pretty good card overall. Again, not going to be a ton of value. Like as far as like the guild leaders are concerned, I think Jetmir, just because it is a really, really playable commander, does have some value. Not a ton outside of that. Falco catching some steam. All right, Evelyn the Covetous, Lagrella as a foil showcase, non-raised foil. You can kind of see the difference there. There's the raised foil version, and then there's just the showcase foil version. So you can definitely see that raised foil definitely sticks out. All right, here we go. Rafine is a very good card, though. It was a build around for, it was a mainstay for a standard deck while it was in rotation for a good while. It was a top tier deck built around Rafine. All right, Mr. Orfeo, Waterfront District. Even the score as our next mythic in this box. I'll put Tivit up here. Again, not a ton of value in the rares, but even the score is our next mythic in the box. It's rare that we're like not cheering on mythics, but if this box wanted to short me on mythics overall, I would be okay with that. I think Halo Fountain might be like $6 or $7. Beyond that, not a ton of value from mythics. All right. Rumor Gather is actually a pretty strong uncommon as far as like playability is concerned. Quasar, also pretty good. Devilish Valet, a card I rather like, just as far as like being as good as concerned, is like Alliance, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double devilish value. This is actually probably pretty strong with mobilize, right? All right, I'm going to throw that up top. Getting all those mobilize triggers from other creatures and then doubling Valet's power. That's probably decent, huh? Okay. Waiting on our next shot from the list. Hopefully pulling like 3 of the tri-lands in a box would be really good. That's pretty much what this box hinges on. These boxes in general, not just this box. The set booster boxes. Sizzling Soloist. Luxurious Libation. Undercover Operative as the rare. And Suspicious Bookcase. Oh, it is our next list hit. It is a mythic. It is Gisa and Geralf. Oh, it's a Gisa. I like Gisa. And Geralf. Pretty good card. Was, I think, reprinted in Innistrad Remastered as well. Not one of our value hits. So, kind of 0 for 2 in that on that front. All right, that's okay. Keeping it moving. We are on to the second column now. Obscura Charm, Riveteer's Charm. All right, Glamorous Outlaw. Black Market Tycoon. Actually, do kind of like this card. Tap to create a treasure. There's a downside there, but still, 2 for 2/2. Tap to create a treasure. Do a little ramping. Here we go. And the treasure comes into play untapped, which is pretty big. Clean up crew. Crew captain again. Swindler's Scheme, another rare off the commander. There is some good, a few good commander cards as well. So I cannot remember if Swindler's Scheme is one of them. So I'm going to throw that down here for the time being. And then we've got Incandescent Aria in the Showcase rare version. Ziatora. Okay, all right. Another guild leader. That is Ziatora the Incinerator. Also a pretty mean commander card. Good. Like all of the boss leaders, the guild bosses or whatever, they make for pretty good commanders in their own right. There's a little hard to play outside of that parameter. All right. But Ziatora and Rafine, don't hate that. Man, these first two, the land and the art card, do not want to come apart. All right. Bouncer's Beatdown. Mr. Orfeo for like the 3rd or 4th time. Revelers again. Rare is Cut Your Losses. People really liked this card. When it first aired, and it's just like it's 6 mana. It's too expensive. The casualty doesn't finish the job. It's a neat card, but it just, even in Milbex, it's just too expensive. Whack. Capenna, kind of a, while I liked the idea thematically, I don't think it really hit, like, you know, just the Roaring 20s gangster theme as a Magic set doesn't really connect with most people. Here we go. Obscura Charm. Eraser's Ring. Duelist. Mythic. Hey, okay. I don't dislike that. That is technically our 5th Mythic of the box, not counting the list stuff. Elspeth Resplendent. Actually a pretty good one. This card does see a little bit of play as well. It's not, you know, when it was in rotation, it saw a little bit of standard play. Outside of that, doesn't really see a ton of constructed play, but it is a playable rare for sure. Or Mythic. All right, Skycrier. And that will do it there. Probably just a little over halfway through the box. Come on, list. Let's go, list. Rare is Corpse Explosion. I wanted Corpse Explosion to be a good card. It's just not. It doesn't do enough. All right. Got ourselves a Foil Forest. Would not be upset about pulling another of the tri-lands by this point. Scheming Fence as the rare in this pack. And then Shattered Seraph as a foil showcase, non-raised foil. 3 packs left in this middle column. Actually, like a good assortment of mythics. You know, even if they're not bringing us a lot of value, certainly some playables there. Whack, Nightclubber, Masked Bandits, Riveteer's Charm. Rare is Widespread Thieving. Now, a foil rare, foil showcase rare is Soul of Emancipation. Kind of neat. And then we have a list hit that is a mythic. This is actually one of the Stranger Things cards. This is Arvinox, the Mind Flail. I can't remember what Stranger Things card it is. Obviously, it doesn't have the partner because it's one of like the it's not the land, but it's one of the bad guys from Stranger Things. A set a show that is still somehow not done yet. Like, it's taking them forever to film seasons. These kids are going to be like 45 by the time this last season airs. Okay, 2 packs left in this middle column. Rare is Obscura Interceptor. Card saw some play when it was in Standard. Last pack of the middle column. So we have 4 cards off the list. 2 are Stranger Things, 2 are not Stranger Things. Which means we probably have like 1 to 2 more shots from the list for the non-Stranger Things. Rare is Fight Rigging. I actually do like Fight Rigging as a card. This is not a bad card. Again, maybe not a ton of value there, but as far as like good playable cards are concerned, that Fight Rigging is a solid card for sure. All right, last column. We have 5 mythics. We're only at 1 of the land cycle of the tri-lands. There's a gold stamped art card. Sure, why not? These boxes typically produce between like 2 and 3. It is very difficult to get more than 3 of the tri-lands in these boxes. Unleash the Inferno. Security Bypass. Have ourselves a Nimble Arsonist. Threefold Signal. If I recall, this does potentially have some value as one of the commander cards. Threefold Signal. That is a mythic off the commander list as well. Followed by Agnes Dragon's Lash as our rare, and then another foil showcase, that time Spara's Adjudicators. All right. 6 mythics, 2 of the commanders. You know what? Normally I'm not psyched about seeing the commander mythics, but in this particular case, they're probably not a downgrade for the most part. Botanical Plaza, Gala Greeters, why not? Actually a strong card, but the fact that every box topper was also a Gala Greeters is like, well, they're pretty plentiful. And our next Stranger Things card, this is another list hit. This is Sophina, Spear, Siege, Deserter. I do not remember which of the Stranger Things kids it is, but it is one of the Friends Forever. There you go. So we are at 5 hits off the list, 3 of which are Stranger Things. We have 7 packs left. Saw a little borderless rare back there. That is Topiary Stomper. Pretty solid card. And there's that nice little borderless treatment. Not a ton of value there, but as far as like good playable rares are concerned, this is actually pretty good. Rocco, Streetwise Mentor. Glittering Stockpile, and that will do it there. Stomper definitely saw some play when it was in rotation. All right. Can I get another Surveil Land? Or Tri-Land? Not Surveil Land. I mean, Surveil Lands would be interesting out of this box, but... Tainted Indulgence. Crew Captain. Mythic, Vivian on the Hunt. Actually, do like Vivian as well. 6 mana is a lot, but Vivian also does a lot for you. Pretty good card, worth a read. Not terribly expensive either, like as far as value is concerned, so solid pickup. All right, that is 7 mythics in this box. We have 5 packs left. We are running out of chances at the list. Nixilis. All right, got ourselves a foil full art mountain. Racer's Ring, Broker's Charm. Rare is Cut the Profits. I wanted this card to be better than it turned out to be. I couldn't make it work. It just didn't do enough. Too much sacrificing. All right, 4 packs left. Oh no. 1 land and only 2 non-Stranger Things hits off the list. Not great. Not looking great. Forge Boss, Masked Bandits, Cormelia. Rare is Shadow of Mortality. Yep, alright. It's a high mana value card. Great. Antagonize. And there is another list hit, so we did at least get one more. Unfortunately, it's not going to be one of those like bombs that you're looking for, but Rune Halo is Rudy Zex right there. Rune Halo off of the list. So we are 3-3. We have 6 total list hits. 3 Stranger Things. Whoops. And 3 non-Stranger Things. We have 3 packs left. Glamorous Outlaw, Cabaret Charm. Rare isn't sure. Top Area Stomper this time in the border list, or excuse me, the non-border list is a regular treatment. And a foil common Glamorous Outlaw. 2 packs left. It appears I should have left this one in the closet, which is fine. It's part of what we do, right? Not every box can be a winner. All right, Rakish Revelers again. Hey, another list hit. List hit. Wrong. Commander hit. Mari the Killing Quill. Cabaret Ascendancy. And an uncommon foil Graveyard Shift. Last pack. All right, Waterfront District. Rare is Park Heights Pegasus. And, we did get another list hit. It is Tempest Jin. Actually, decent card. Not going to be one of the value targets. We took some swings. We did not connect today. Let's put it that way. All right, so this box is bad. Just from a value standpoint. And I said that right off the front, like $130 a box. Like, I don't necessarily love them. That's not what I bought these boxes at. I've been sitting on them forever. We took our shots at the list. Ruined Halo, Tempest Jin, Gisun Geralf, and then Croesus the Purger as far as the non-Stranger Things. One thing that was disappointing, and I know these boxes are known for being a little stingy when it comes to this, but only one of the Tri-Lands did hurt. Like that, if this is 2 or 3, I at least feel a little bit differently about this box. Short of Vampiric or Anointed Procession or Socket, like any of those other list hits, these are going to be rough boxes because there's just not enough value in the actual Streets of New Capenna set to otherwise justify it being like even $120 box. But at least not getting anything there, or only getting one there. That one hurts a little bit. So anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. And by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody. And be well.